We are in a hallowed place, a holy place. And I think St. Helens for 100 years has taught the right lessons and been a place of sanctuary for literally thousands and thousands of people who have come through the doors of the church and the school. And I wanted to be here today to salute that special responsibility that this church and school have brought forward to many, many people and many, many families. And Father, you may or may not know, taught Coach K geometry in 1962 at Weber High School, and they've remained close ever since. And it is important to have teachers and mentors and spiritual advisors that keep all of us on the right path. And to me, that's what St. Helens is all about. I had the honor of meeting Bill Krzyzewski in 1997 at the high school I attended, Fenwick High School, which, as you may know, is in the same league as Weber High School, where Coach K played. And Bill came that day because my brother John, who is here today, was coach of the Fenwick basketball team, and he had a player by the name of Corey Maggette that had the good sense to attend Duke University and be a player for Coach K. And we've been friends for many years. I wanted to be here today because the Krzyzewski family, Mike's and Bill's mom and dad, understood the eternal values of our society: faith and generosity and patriotism and always doing the right thing. I think it's important for all of us to learn those lessons every single day. Our young players here today, maybe they'll go to Duke, maybe they will be in the NBA, and maybe they won't be in the NBA. But the very opportunity to play basketball as a team, to learn about yourself and your teammates, and to honor those you compete against, those are fundamental values you hold with yourself for your entire life. And I think that's what Coach K has taught all of us. A few weeks ago, we had an event here in Illinois, and Coach Mike Krzyzewski was able to come because we have a special award in Illinois, our highest honor. It's called the Order of Lincoln and the Lincoln Medal. And Abraham Lincoln, as you know, came from our state. We are the land of Lincoln. And Abraham Lincoln understood how important it was to learn and to work hard and to honor your fellow persons, men and women. He believed in government of the people. When he went to Gettysburg in 1863, during a civil war, there was a very bloody civil war in our country, he dedicated a national cemetery at Gettysburg. And in 272 words, the Gettysburg Address, Abraham Lincoln summed up what our country is about, what our democracy is about, and what our society is about. He said that government of the people, and by the people, and for the people, it shall not perish from this earth. And I want to say on behalf of the people of Illinois that we honor all of the people of St. Helens who for 1 century, 100 years, have stood by and made sure that everyday people had a good education, a moral education, an education devoted to service. Service to others is the rent we pay for our place on God's earth. And the Krzyzewski family has shown us what service is about, what giving back is all about. Everyone can be great because everyone can serve. That's what Dr. Martin Luther King said when he lived in Chicago in 1966. And here we are in the year 2014. It's important for all of us to embrace an ethic of service. That, to me, is what St. Helens is all about. So on behalf of the people of our state, I have the authority as governor to issue proclamations, and I think it's very, very meaningful and important that we today are gathered here at this gym, and I want to salute all of those who teach at St. Helens, the principal, Principal Johnson, who is such a great leader here, all the parents who are devoted to educating their children, to all the clergy who have gathered here, who have served so honorably for so many years, and to the Krzyzewski family, especially to Pat, her departed husband, a very special man, a fire captain in our Chicago Fire Department, who understood that saving others and protecting others was one of the highest human callings. I think it's so important that we, the people of Illinois, today salute the Krzyzewskis, but also salute everyone from St. Helens. And on behalf of the people of Illinois, today is St. Helen Catholic School Day in the land of Lincoln. Thank you very much. There you go, Principal. All right.
Thank you. Yeah. Good morning, and Governor Quinn, thank you so much for taking time out of your extremely busy schedule to honor our community, our school, our parish, and my family. For this to be declared St. Helens Day in our entire state, I'm not sure the people in Alton or East St. Louis will understand that, but we certainly understand it up here. Father Rogue, for you guys, for all of you youngsters in the audience, at an age where I know it's hard for you to believe that anyone was your age when you look at us, but we were, and we are influenced. And Father Rogue had an influence on me at your age, and we have been lifelong friends. And when you can have people in your life that will have a positive influence on your life throughout your life, you should cling to those people. And what St. Helens gives you an opportunity to do is meet those type of people. The star in this room today is Marianne Johnson. Yeah, I grew up Catholic, and I'm still Catholic, and they talk about the Trinity, and I don't want to show any disrespect, Father, but I'm going to use a little license with the Trinity right now. For me, there are three. My brother and I are being honored today, but I want Marianne to join them today. This whole day today, I don't know, I guess they're all equal, Father, but I'd like to be the third one today, because I really stand in awe of the job Marianne has done. And I've always stood in awe of my brother. And so today, for me, to share this day with you and my brother could not be better. You looked at the academic records, Nat, you also would have seen that my brother and I got all A's. We know how to schmooze teachers. I never did like subtraction. In a game, I always felt that what you add is better than what you take away. But one of the things my brother taught me was how to follow somebody that's worthy of being followed. And so St. Helens had an amazing impact on both of us. But for me, it had even more, because I got to not only experience it, but I got to see it every day and what was happening with my brother Bill. My brother Bill is the best man I've ever met. You can see around the room some of his brothers, members of the Chicago Fire Department. You can see fire trucks out in front, an honor guard. People that, I've been in kind of the national spotlight, but my brother's been in the spotlight his entire life. Whatever I've done, does not measure up to what he's done in his life. On a day-to-day basis, my brother put his life on the line and led men and women who also put their lives on the line. He's a stud, and he was my role model. And I was lucky. I was the luckiest guy in the world to have him as my big brother. So to share that day today with him is truly amazing. It's my privilege and honor to introduce my sister-in-law, who I like to call my sister Pat. She and my brother formed a team that I would like every team that I coach to be. Unwavering, relentless, principled, winning, championship level. She is loved and admired by my entire family. And she and my brother gave the Krzyzewski family direction throughout. Our father died when I was a senior at West Point, and Bill took over, and he and Pat got married. And one of the interesting things about this building is when we went to school here, this was the church. Okay? This is where First Communion was, confirmation. I hate to say, confession. Whew, those were, anyway, that first one was pretty, it's difficult going into that place where you didn't know who was in there and you had to tell them what you did wrong. Holy mackerel, what a leap of faith. But when I walked in here today, the thing I thought about was 50 years ago on June 6th, where Pat and Bill were married, right here. And as amazing as my brother was, and his memory and principles will always be there, Pat is equally amazing. It is my honor to introduce my sister, Pat Krzyzewski.
Good morning, Father Rowe. Good morning. Welcome here to St. Helens. I am going to speak on behalf of Bill. Bill passed away in December. He was 71 and he died of cancer. So I feel that I would like to update you and let you know who Bill Krzyzewski is all about. Right now, good morning to our honorary dignitaries, Father Rogue, St. Helens class of 2014, family and friends who have come here today, and of course, Coach K. I will begin by saying Bill and Mike were born and raised on Cortez Street on the 2000 block. Bill is 5 years older than Mike. Bill enrolled in St. Helens in kindergarten in 1947. That's really a long time ago, right? While at St. Helens over here, he made communion and confirmation. His participation was in band. He played the saxophone, an alto sax. Does anybody play in the band or alto sax here? Good girl, good girl. Is it the alto sax? Good. While he was also here at St. Helens, he was a patrol boy for 3 years, grade 6th, 7th, and 8th. In 8th grade, he was made captain of the patrols. His corner, Augusta and Western. Can you imagine it today, Augusta and Western, what it's like compared to 1956? His graduating class consisted of 132 students. Do you think you can get close to that? Eventually you'll get close to that. But this year we had what, 26? 26. We're working our way. Okay, 26 to 132. After Bill had graduated here from St. Helens, he went on to Weber. And he graduated from Weber in 1960. At the time, he did not want to go on to college because he was the type of person that liked to do mechanical things with his hands. He had enrolled himself over at Greer Shop Training School for auto mechanics and truck mechanics. He had gotten a degree over there, and it was in doctor. As years went on, people would always discuss their degrees. They had a PhD in this, they had a BA in that, and Bill would turn around and say, I've got a doctor's degree. And people would look and go, doctor's degree? And Bill would say yes, but not the kind that could take out your tonsils and appendix. It was for motors. So as he went, and then in 1965, he became a candidate at the Chicago Fire Department Academy. After several months of training, he was now getting an assignment. His assignment would be in the area that he grew up, which is right here. He had been on the job 38 and a half years. While on the job, he was promoted from firefighter to fire engineer to lieutenant and to captain. He retired in 2003, and he never missed a day of work. What made his job so pleasant at times were the men that he has worked with and the men he has trained. He has trained over 30 candidates. So it's like having your own daughters, but these were his sons that he had raised, and they all turned out to be one of Chicago's finest. Whenever Bill was asked, who has the brains in the family, you or your brother? Bill, without hesitation, would always say, it's my brother Mike. But in the same breath, he would look at you and say, but I'm the better looking. He was right. Like Mike said, 50 years ago, June 6, 1964, was a big day. Family and friends. That was 2 weeks ago. Bill and I received the sacrament of marriage here in St. Helens, in this room. So to be here today, 50 years later, it's like a circle coming around. Because at that time, it was a joyous occasion with family and friends, just as it is today, with family and friends. The dedication of the Krzyzewski name at St. Helens. On that day, we had a best man. That best man was Mike. He had been the best man for the past 50 years. He's been the best brother to Bill and to me. So today, Bill would have stood here next to Mike, and he would have been proud to have the name Krzyzewski dedicated in this building. I thank you.
Okay, usually I follow somebody who doesn't know how to speak. So obviously that's not happening today. That was amazing, truly amazing. And I thought I gave you a good introduction, and it wasn't worthy of the speech. So today's a great day. When we see our family shedding tears, they're tears of joy of knowing that we've had an amazing family and continue to have amazing family. For me, when I think of today, obviously I think of my brother and me, but when I think of St. Helens, I think of, what happened 100 years ago? How did things get started? Like, why? Why did they start a school? They got a church, they're given the sacraments and whatever, and somebody said, we need to teach our youngsters more. We somehow, on a day-to-day basis, not only need to educate them in studies and math and science and English, and at that time I'm sure they were educating them in Polish too. We need to educate them in values. And so for all of you youngsters who are here, and some of you are graduating or have graduated, you're going to high school, You know, the thing that you learn from here, sometimes things that you don't even know you learned. You know, I didn't. You know, I didn't know why I put all those guys together in a circle, but I've been doing that for 50 years too. I don't know. You never break those habits sometimes. But I always felt that you're supposed to do things the right way. And I always felt that you should be good to other people. And if somebody needed help, that you should give help. So where did that come from? It came from your family. It certainly came from the pulpit. I think a lot of it came from going to St. Helens. And so for me and my brother, yeah, we have both led lives of service in different ways. But I would like to think that we both have led valued lives. And so this is the place that planted the seeds of value. What a cool place. What an amazing place. For us to be honored, where our names will be up in this gym, and we're going to get this gym renovated, by the way. By the way, I didn't see anything in there about air conditioning, but we might add, I think we might get a donor here. I'm going to wait till somebody's ready to drop and just go to him with water and say, look, do you think you could give something for air conditioning? Give me water. No, give me the money for air conditioning. So that's how we do it in Chicago, outside, Marion. It's a little, I haven't lost my city techniques. But when all of you come back to play here, and those kids who will play here for years to come, you're going to see my brother's name. You'll see my name. But when you see my brother's name, I would like for you to think of values. Yeah, like for me with my brother, the very first value was hard work. A lot of people, when they hear the word work, oh, I got to work. You know, but what St. Helens and my family taught me and my brother was the dignity of hard work. The dignity. And when you teach somebody dignity, you kind of take that person up a few notches. And so Bill never missed a day of work. Now, after meeting some of the guys he went to work with, it certainly wasn't because of their personalities or their looks. And by the way, my brother, you missed out on one word. He would say, I had the brains, he had the looks. He would say, I'm sexier too. He was, obviously. That didn't fall on my ground. But my brother worked hard, and he was proud of his work. And if all of you, in whatever you're doing, whatever you're going to work hard in, make it worthy of working hard, and you'll feel dignified. You will feel proud. And so whenever anyone sees my brother's name, I hope they think of that's one of the things. Second thing, my brother had courage. He was brave. What a great thing to have. And whatever you're doing, I mean, he was never afraid. Ever. For me, I always felt, one of the reasons I think I was able to do what I've done is because I knew my brother had my back. I know when I walked to school, and we used to walk to school, you know, no one took you to school, I was never worried because there was somebody from another neighborhood looking like maybe they were going to cause some trouble. They would never mess with me because, oh, that's Bill's brother. That's Bill's brother. And so you guys go to work to fire they got a call right now. And so my brother was brave, just like those guys are brave. You know. The other thing my brother was prepared. In other words, he studied. It's a cool thing to do. Study. And really, you study for your whole life. I'm 67 years old. I've been a head coach for 40 years. I coach our Olympic team. I study all the time. And he did too. He kept current in the techniques that his men and women would have to use to save people's lives here in Chicago. He was prepared. The other thing that I would love for someone to look at when they saw my brother's name is that he was a leader. He was able to get a group of people to work together for one cause. And so when his name is put in this gymnasium, those are some of the values I would like for people to think of. For me, yeah, I think the main thing I would like people to think of is what somebody who is like anyone else is able to do when they surround themselves with amazing people. Like, how the heck did everything happen? How the heck did you go to West Point? How did you become a coach? How did you win? How did you, come on. You gotta be lucky. And I was lucky that I was always around good people. Yeah. One story that I'll tell you that is the main story of my life came from my mother, who never went to high school. She actually went to 8th grade twice. I asked her why that happened, and she said, "Mike, the teacher liked me." And she was a cleaning lady, and she was wise, and she loved me and my brother. I always told her she loved my brother more, and she said, "Well, he's better looking." So I understood that. Really, baby pictures and that, they're all of him and none of me, but when I came out, they said, "Whoa, there must be a mistake here." And, but my mother, when I was growing up your age, told me something that I've lived my life by. And she said, "Mike, always get on the right bus." And as a city kid, I say, "Ma, I know the city, I know which buses," and she says, "That's not the bus I'm talking about. For your whole life, you will be in charge of your bus. Only let good people on your bus. And you should only get on the buses of good people. And if you do, I promise you, you will go to places that you never would have been able to do alone." I've done that my whole life. I got on West Point's bus. I got on the United States Army's bus. I've gotten on people's buses who are great players, Bobby Hurley, Christian Wayne, guys who were players of the year. I got on the USA bus. It's not my bus, but I'm with some pretty damn good people. And as a result, good things will happen. If some way, for every kid who ever plays in here, would look at my brother's values and the fact that what I did was find people like that in a lot of different areas and got on their bus or let them on my bus, some really neat things are going to happen for you. Things that would have never happened if you think you can only drive your bus alone. Today is terrific. To have this gym dedicated to my brother and to me is a tremendous honor. You know, I will always be a Chicagoan. I will always be a Krzyzewski. By the way, my dad didn't go by the name of Krzyzewski. My dad went by the name of Cross. And he did because at that time in our society, people whose names were Krzyzewski didn't get as many jobs. And they were always worried about that. And when I started advancing, people said, you know, you should change your name. People can't pronounce it. They certainly can't spell it. And I said, I'm not changing my name. And so in 2001, when I had the honor of being inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame, it was an emotional night, and my mom and dad had passed, and I said, the Krzyzewski family is going into the Hall of Fame. You know, be proud of who you are, be proud of your family, And as you move on from this, get on the right bus. When you do, great things will happen for you. And never forget your foundation, which is St. Helens. Again, I want to thank the governor for kidding me out of his busy schedule to come here. And again, Father Rogue, and if Mary Ann had a jump shot, I would recruit her. Because what she's done is truly magical. And thank you for honoring me and my brother in such a magnificent way. Appreciate it.